In the year 2020, many countries are in lockdown, and schools is not the exception. While some schools are remaining open, parents are now seriously considering homeschooling, by choice or by default of the government decision. So in this video, I'm going to cover some of the information that will help you with the journey with your children on how to navigate this schooling landscape. I've had the luxury of homeschooling my 3 kids, and there's a lot of learning lessons along the way. The first thing I thought what homeschooling is, just teaching school at home. And you can do that. And by the way, there's no right or the wrong way. There's only perfection in the imperfection. So don't be hard on yourself, don't be critical on yourself, don't need to compare yourself to other people. You can take notes on what other people are doing and do what's resonating to you. And what I'm about to share, it has nothing to do with what is better, whether schooling is better or homeschooling is better, whether person A's methodology is better or person B. Ultimately, everything has its own perfection, even in its imperfections. There are a lot of kids that are growing up with the same upbringing in the same loving family. One turned out one way, one turned out completely opposite. How do you explain it? As parents, we always try to do our best to guide our kids. But what if their path is kind of predetermined? So back to homeschooling. When my first journey started teaching school at home, I was very standard, uniform, consistent, with a timetable printed out on what topic to teach at what time, allowing for certain flexibility of play and lunch and other fun stuff. But as I went on, I started to realize this journey is a lot more deeper than that if I allowed it to. One of the questions I will ask you is, what is life about for you? And what is life about for your kids? Because very often we get ingrained with how we're supposed to act, thinking how we're supposed to act, based on the society conditioning, how the rest of the population, how the majority of the population live their lives. And we get to the busyness of becoming a human doing. But what is really important to you? Again, there's no right or wrong. It's just getting clear on your priority. A lot of countries in lockdown and people are having self-isolation at home. This is a really opportune time to just review. If you have a choice, how would you do things differently? How would you live your life differently? How would you want your kids to live out their life that's different to yours? So most of us were brought in an era that go to school, study hard, get good grades, get good job, work hard, hopefully save up money when you're 60, 65, 70 and enough to start to enjoy lives. In between, you get a bit of breadcrumbs of joy, of going on holiday, the weekends. But during the day, it's hustle, grind, work hard, play hard. Where's the play hard? When majority of the time, your best hours of each day, 9 to 6 usually, is at school or at work. Well, we know that schoolwork, especially at college or university, it doesn't stop at 6 p.m. It keeps going with assignments and studying. Same for work. If you're in a high-paying job or you're having your own business, most likely that you're still thinking about work in your downtime, supposedly downtime. And ultimately, from talking to many parents, what do they want for themselves and the kids is unison, which is happiness, joy, love, fulfillment. Whereas the external life, how we've taught our kids, get good grades so you can get good jobs, we're not teaching them how to be happy. We're not teaching them how to have self-love. We're not teaching them how to have humility and non-judgment. We're not teaching them how to be kind. For the most part, it's about math, science, history, geography, English, other languages. Don't get me wrong, these are all functional subjects, and I think there is a place for them. The question I'm asking now, what is a priority for you? If you want them for their life to get something, to be a master of something, do you want them to be a master of maths or a master of happiness? A master in geography or a master in self-love? A master in English or a master in fulfillment and be kind? So when you focus on the right things, your reticular activated system, which is your subconscious awareness of what you want, you start to draw towards you. You open your eyes. It's like when you buy a car or you saw a friend have a new car and you sat in that new car that you haven't seen before, and now you start to see everywhere around the streets. That's the reticular activating system, because you weren't paying attention to it. If you focus on how to get better grades, you're gonna see all the apps, all the courses, all the online forums or social media talking about how do we get better grades, and that's fantastic. There's nothing wrong with that. But if your focus is how do I help my kids become more resilient when more and more teens are suffering depression, anxiety, and even taking their own lives because of how stressful today's society is to them, well, what if they get good grades and they're completely stressed and depressed, which we see over and over again? So the first thing is get clear what you want for yourself, because you can tell your kids that I want you to be happy, but unless you fix your own life, your priorities are not in the right order. People say that do what you do. They don't do what you say. So if you want them to really learn, one of the best things to do is to be the best role model that you can be. Not from your teaching, but from your living. Your living has 100 times more powerful and congruent than your talking. So you need to get clarity over what is life about for you in all that priority. And then, what do you want for your kids? That is important. And obviously having the buy-in of your partner as well. Both parents need to agree. And sometimes the disagreement is just, it is. It's easy to have a partner that completely agrees, but very often as human beings, our ego preference is different. And that's okay too. Learning how to work with the differences. But remember, the most important thing is to live your own life. So what if your partner don't agree? It'll become more challenging, but that doesn't stop you from being that role model. In the next video, I'm going to talk a lot more about the specific of homeschooling with this changing paradigm, and I'm going to talk about unschooling and cosmic schooling in the future videos as well. Stay tuned. If you like the video, subscribe and comment. Thank you. Namaste.